Hello again, and welcome back to Maya Makes Popin Cookin. Today I've got the Tsukurou Obento kit, which comes with a lot of different stuff in it. And I think it's candy flavoured, but I'm not sure. So this could be interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and crack open the box, set up my instructions, and then we can start working on it all. So inside the box we had our little plastic bag containing all our moulds and powder packets, etc. But also some little spaces to mould out quantities for the different parts, and a little bento box with a fork printed on it that you can present everything in. So we might do that at the end. I might use just a plate. I haven't decided yet. So, like I said, there's a lot of stuff in this one, and also a little piping bag for later on, which is always fun. But with these, first thing to do is cut up the mould. And on this one apparently it is just the water scoop that you need to cut off. And everything else can just sort of stay as is. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off like the perimeter around it just to make it easier to get in at everything. I don't want to break the mould around this big section too much, but that should make things a little bit easier. Now, first thing we're going to work on is some of these jelly-ish pieces that go into the moulds. So first one is broccoli, I think. And this is going to go into the little broccoli mould with a scoop of water, and then we're going to leave it to set while we work on some of the other stuff. Oh! And these packets all have like a easy tear part on them. Did they always have that? Definitely candy flavoured. We're all okay. And similar idea with the egg roll and the little hot dog octopus. Okay, so we've got all those in the moulds right about now. I think I went a little bit overboard on the little hot dog octopus, but it should be alright, she says hopefully. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make up the rice for onigiri and our little panda. So that's going to get mixed up in this big mixing bowl. It fizzes. That's odd. Saved it, it's fine. I think I'm going to get in there with my hands and try and pick up the last of the powder that way. I think that's good enough. At this point we're going to be using the little guidelines for the rice quantities. So make 2 little panda ears. And a panda face, and then the rest can be our onigiri. Perfect. Then we've got these guys, which I'm not sure exactly what they're like meant to represent in terms of like real food. I guess like squid ink, maybe? But anyway, they're going in these little moulds over here just to stick to the outside of our rice. So let's see if I can do this without getting them everywhere. As it would turn out, no, they are going everywhere. I don't suppose it needs to be perfect. Or that's what I'm telling myself anyway. Okay, I think I like this side of it better, so we'll do that one first. Ah, that's pretty good. I'll put some on the bottom and some on the other side. Yeah, that works. Put him over here. Now, time for panda face. See if this is actually gonna transfer on properly. Oh, I'm well chuffed with that. Okay. Let's cover these ears. That's one. That doesn't really want to stick back onto the rest of the head, but oh well. I'm leaving like a little bit of the rice exposed in the hopes that like it'll stick to itself better than like if it's covered in like the little black pieces, but it doesn't seem to be helping much. Oh well. Yeah, let's prop you up there and hope for the best. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. Okay, what is next? Next we're doing some karage, I guess, or whatever these little sort of battered pieces are. Again, mixed in the big tray. As the panda ear falls off, but that's fine. I realise as I'm mixing this, I pulled the wrong packet out, but I don't suppose it matters what order you do them in, so we're doing the noodles first. Which means I need another scoop of water. Into the piping bag you go. I now see why they get you to do the noodles last, because the mixing tray ends up looking like this. We'll sort that out with a paper towel in a sec. But first I'm gonna work this stuff to the corner of the piping bag so that we can start actually getting our noodles done. Okay, snip off the corner. And let's give this a go. There we go. That looks vaguely okay. Time to go sort this guy out. Good as new. Or not quite, but shh. Now that's better. For a second there it felt really watery, but the more I'm mixing it, the more it's sort of thickening up, so that's good. Yeah, I think that's good enough. This is to be split into 2 little pieces. Put those there. Brilliant. Now, the last thing to do is to get these guys out of the molds, but I don't think they're quite set yet, so I'm going to leave those for another couple of minutes. And while that's happening, actually, I got a request to film myself eating this stuff on camera, so I'm going to switch to a new area, set up the camera there, and then I'll have like everything out of the molds for you. So here we have the finished bento box next to the picture that they provide, and to be honest, for the most part it looks not too bad. Like, I got a lot of transfer of the like black grains and staining on my rice things, but other than that everything looks pretty good. Like, my broccoli got a little bit squished coming out of the mould. Turns out it's actually easier to just sort of poke them with your finger to get them out. Whereas they sort of show you in the instructions loosening it with the fork that they give you. Yeah, not the best way to do it, just kind of jab it until it like flips out. So I'm going to turn around and start eating this. Hello, time for taste test for our Tsukurou Obento Popin Cookin. I'm not actually too nervous about this one because they all smell vaguely just sort of sugary, sweet, fruity flavours, which, I mean, how bad could it be? So I'm gonna go ahead and start with like this panda ear that has refused to stay on my little panda. Okay, it's chewier than I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, it's just straight up sweet. So before I come back to more of that, I'm going to move on to something else. Let's try one of the jelly things. I'm going to go for the little octopus thing. It's they're not quite like gummy bear jelly sweets. They're a lot more jiggly than that. It's like strawberry flavoured, but it's not very strong flavoured, and it just kind of falls apart in your mouth. It is more like jelly, or like jello, than an actual like candy sweet that you'd be used to. I'm gonna try the broccoli one and see if it has a different flavour. I don't like that one as much. I don't know what flavour it's going for, but Yeah, it's not as good. It's like, I feel like all of them kind of have a sort of, you know, that like candy soda flavoured taste to them, but it's not very strong. Like you get with most Popin Cookin, it's like, most of it's water, so it doesn't taste of a whole lot, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm gonna try, these guys are stuck together, the little karage things, so I'll try just one of them just now. Again, I think it's gonna be similar, they're just gonna be like squishy, sort of sugary flavoured. I feel like those ones have the best texture. They're like, there's more of a bite to those ones. But they taste of literally nothing. So that's a little bit disappointing. Okay, one thing that I haven't tried yet is like the noodly things. Oh, which just kind of tore apart rather than like picking up the individual noodles. I suppose I should have expected that. Again, it's that kind of like soda-y flavoured thing, which like is sometimes okay, but it's just, it's so weak. And this is just like eating a paste. It's not the most pleasant thing in the world. I'm gonna eat the egg roll, because it smells really strongly of lemon, so I think it might have like a nice flavour to it. I would be wrong. It's decidedly lemon, but it's, again, just such a weak flavour. I keep saying that, but it's true for like almost everything on this. I think texture-wise, the like karage was the best, and taste-wise, probably the little octopus, like with the strawberry flavour. Probably followed by the rice, which I think gets the sort of soda flavour right. It tastes more of it. Yeah. Like the rice ones and the hot dog octopus had like the most flavour in them. The other ones were just kind of bland with a bit of a weird texture. So I think like in terms of constructing it and like actually doing all the stuff to make it, it was a really fun kit, but taste-wise it's not the best. So if you're wanting something that's like also going to be like a fun snack to have at the end of it as a reward, this probably isn't your guy. But if you're wanting a Popin Cookin with like a bunch of different steps and like a little bit of presentation at the end, and you make like a bunch of different things, then it's a pretty decent option. So solid like 5, 6 out of 10, if depending on what you're looking for out of them. I had fun doing it. Less fun eating it. I'll leave it at that.